All right, so let's talk about using screening filters. So this is the second step of the deal pipeline. The first deal was identifying your neighborhood and the type of property that you want to invest in. The second step is using those screening filters. Now, what are filters? Well, as I said, there might be dozens or even hundreds of deals on your desk that you're looking at, and you just don't have the time, or it's just impractical to go look at all of them. So you want to filter them out. You want to sort them into two piles or three piles. The worst deals, forget about them, throw them away. Okay deals and good deals, or yes and no, however you want to do it. But the idea is you need to filter them down to a handful of deals you can look at. You're going to use the 1%, 2%, and 50% rules to filter these properties. Now, these aren't hard, fast rules, they're guidelines. And we'll go through each one and see how you can filter your potential deals. The 1% rule is that a property should rent for at least 1% of its ARV. ARV is after repair value. So if you're purchasing a property and after all of its repairs are done, it's going to be worth $200,000, then according to 1% rule, the property should rent for around $2,000 per month or more. Now, if you find the same property and you're renovating it, it's going to be worth $200,000, it's only going to rent for $1,500, you may not be interested in this one. Or maybe you are. It's just a filter. It's really up to you on how you use the filter. But you can apply this rule in order to sift off the top, the ones that aren't going to be so good. 2% rule is related but a little different. It's that the property should have a rent of at least 2% of what you pay for it. So if you pay $75,000 for a property and put $25,000 worth of repairs into it, that would be a total value of $100,000, or a total cost of $100,000. In this example, the rent should be at least $2,000 a month. So if you spend $50,000 on a property, it should rent for $1,000, so on. So you see the 2% rule is based off of what you've put into the property. The 1% rule is based off of the value of the property after repairs. The 50% rule is related to these others. It's saying that your expenses should be around 50% of the total rent. So going with the same numbers as before, if the rent is $2,000 a month, you can expect to pay at least $1,000 per month in expenses. Now, by applying these rules, you're going to be able to whittle down your large list of 100 or 200 properties down to a handful of maybe 20 or 30 properties. Basically look at it and see if it meets the 1% and 2% rules. Throw a quick mortgage calculator on there and apply the 50% rule to see if it meets your goals. So if its rent is $2,000, its after repair value is $200,000. You only put $100,000 worth of work into it, and you put the mortgage calculator on and use the 50% rule. Are you still cash flowing or not? So if you're paying $1,000 in expenses and your mortgage is $500 a month and you're receiving $2,000 a month, then it's cash flowing. If your mortgage is $500 a month and your expenses are $1,000 per month and it's only pulling in $1,500 a month, then it's not cash flowing. You're going to throw that one aside. You can keep doing this for each property, and it should just be really quick. It should only take you a few minutes for each one. That leads me to my next point. Filters are fast. This is not there to determine if you will buy that property or not. These are here to help you filter through a large number of deals. Like I said, if you have 100 deals, you can filter off 50 or 70 of them right away. Now, this isn't saying if you go through the remaining 20 deals and they're all bad deals, you can go back to these and start looking at each one in a little bit more detail. You might find that you're violating the 1 or 2% rule, but maybe it's a great deal for some other reason. Maybe there's a lot of value being added or whatever it may be. So you just start with the one pile, and if you can't find a good deal out of that, you can start going through the other ones. But it's just to help you start sorting them out and save you a lot of time.